All right, let's talk lunges. Lunges versus front foot elevated split squats, or any split squat for that matter. What's the change up now?
So, yeah, I think semantics matter a lot of how we say things. So you'll hear people talk about like a stationary lunge, which are really thinking about a split squat. The difference between a split squat and a split squat, you're staying in that split squat position and you're just going up and down. With a lunge, you're actually adding dynamic motion, right? And this is a more technical lift than people give it credit for. You really need to have proper strength in the split squat first, okay? So when we're doing a lunge, we're flicking the leg out, slamming the leg on, well, not slamming the leg on the ground, we're flicking the leg out, trying to land, not slamming the leg, but trying to land more like a butterfly if you can, right? Which is one of the reasons why I teach the leg flick. Instead of just stomping out, if we flick the leg close to the ground, then you're more likely to get into that bottom stance with a lot more force absorption or shock absorption, right? We want to flick it out, land, immediately go down into that split squat, and then once we get to the bottom, now we're immediately coming back, right? So because it's a dynamic motion, it's not something we're gonna put a lot of pauses or anything else in. Like that stuff should have been already taken care of during the split squats. We wanna be able to hit and return, because again, what we're doing is when we hit the ground and move into it, we're building up the stretch shortening cycle, we're building a lot of kinetic energy, and we wanna rebound that kinetic energy back into the start position.
Okay, so you just mentioned there that in terms of controlling that landing onto the ground and being able to obviously stabilize, especially through your ankles, keep your knees in line and stacking that force appropriately. When you're then returning, now you're saying returning back to your start point, are you going to use that prior to being able to do a walking lunge?
Absolutely. Right. So what we would typically do is we would do a stationary lunge, which would be lunge out, lunge back, either alternating or all on one leg. Then we would think about moving into a walking lunge. So you hit the ground, go into the split squat, and as you return, instead of returning back, you keep moving forward. And every rep should roll into the other. It shouldn't be a forward, stop, forward, stop. It should be a forward, up, right? Okay. This is dynamic motion, right? Then the progression from that might be a drop lunge. So in a drop lunge, we're standing on a platform like an aerobic step, and we're now dropping onto it, so it's a much longer with a lot more force, and then we're returning back on to the platform.
Now what's going to be the difference of me stepping onto a platform versus me dropping from a platform?
So stepping onto a platform would be a regression, okay? It's going to deload it somewhat, and it's going to reduce the amount of force you're producing. If we're a drop lunge, that's not something we're going to do with a lot of our clients, right? That's more of a sport-specific type of exercise. So most clients won't get there. In fact, most of my clients don't do walking lunges, right? If you can't fix it with the split squats and a regular lunge, we might throw walking lunges for more advanced clients, but I still consider that a fairly advanced exercise. It's not for everybody.
And what's the difference with stride length?
So you've got a couple of different things. I still prefer, from a safety and health standpoint, to always go to the longest stance you can while maintaining and getting into the position you need. Once you start shortening the stride up, we can use this more as an athletic or more as a physique type of thing. For Gen Pop, I wouldn't use it because it tends to put a lot more force into the knee, which they don't really need to get, right? And it would be something, if I'm doing short stance lunges or like skater lunges, I would be using that with a more advanced athlete that understands how to load muscles and not joints.
Cool.
Lunges. Lunches? We're having second lunch. Yes.
Lunch it.